I feel like it's probably about time to call it, folks. The summer movie blockbuster season might just be officially dead. Believe me, I'm not happy about this. There were a lot of movies that I was looking forward to seeing in theaters this summer, and even though I feel like Christopher Nolan kind of has his head up his own ass, as talented a filmmaker as he is at times, I was definitely looking forward to Tenet, but it looks like Warner Brothers has decided to pull the film from the release schedule altogether, as it's no longer going to be opening in late August, as they had delayed it from its original July release date. And it all has to do with the COVID-19 situation that we're still experiencing here in the United States. And there's only so much I can say about it, because yes, it is disappointing. It does suck. Like, there were a lot of films that I'm sure people wanted to see. I was definitely looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984. There were a few other ones. I was even looking forward to Mulan back in March. And now we still have this situation where theaters are closed. A lot of smaller budget films that studios were planning to release in theaters are on streaming platforms now. They're either available to rent on Amazon, or if you have a Netflix account, you can find them that way. And this is just kind of the way it is right now. And it's disappointing and it's frustrating, but it just kind of goes to show what's been happening in the country. And I definitely don't want to get on a soapbox here, but yeah, like, you know, between the administration all but pretty much just resigning the country to, you know, potential death, if we're being perfectly honest, and a lot of people who seem almost giddy about the idea, because there are still folks that don't want to wear masks in public places and want to have protests and gather in large numbers without masks, despite all the scientific evidence that should tell them that that is a bad idea. Again, it's just kind of one of those things where, yeah, it's affecting our daily lives now, and it's so to the point that we are even seeing governors who are rescinding orders made by local mayors to have their citizens wear masks, and that's just scary to think. It's scary to think that there are people that just want to be that opposed to all of the scientific evidence that would suggest that, you know, if you're going to be outside, wear a mask. It's a very simple thing that people could be doing. And now it's, you know, obviously affecting entertainment, but it's also just affecting regular life. And that's really the sad part at the end of the day, because as much as I would love to be back in a movie theater, I definitely value the movie-going experience. We've done a pretty substantial job of making that not possible right now. And even as news is coming out about a potential vaccine that may be viable, we're still dealing with a lot of issues that have kind of put a spotlight on even bigger issues that have nothing to do with COVID-19. And I'm not going to get into that because I still want to make this a fun video. I still want to just kind of get sort of these small things off my chest, because I don't want to be someone who has to talk about the big things all the time, and, you know, even some of the time, quite honestly. I like to keep this channel as light as possible, but I also want to not be completely oblivious to some serious issues that are going on. I don't want to be one of those people that says, oh, we're on the way down, the country's a lost cause. I don't want to necessarily be that person. I still want to, you know, have faith in some of the people that are doing the work on the ground to affect real change, and it's a slow process. And at the end of the day, there are certain things that all of us are going to have to do if we're going to make this work. And also, we would like for our government to be a little bit better at, things than they already are. But in the grand scheme of things, as it relates to films, yes, like I said, it sucks. But this is kind of where we're at right now, and we just kind of have to deal with it. And all I know is I'm gonna have a good laugh if by chance, and I feel like this probably definitely would not happen, but if it would just be fun to imagine Christopher Nolan getting really pissed off if Warner Brothers were to announce Tenet as an HBO Max original movie. It's not going to happen, but if it did, just imagine. Just expand your thinking about that. But yeah, I think there was a time when Christopher Nolan said he wanted this to be the film that reopened theaters. And yeah, with good reason. I think Christopher Nolan is a wildly imaginative filmmaker. He's done some great films over the years, and we just want to see what new mind-bending adventure he has in store for us this time, and we've been really excited about it. And it deals with, bending time and experiencing time in a reverse, and it looks cool, and John David Washington is in it, Robert Pattinson's in it, Elizabeth Debicki's 6'3", Amazonian behind is in it, so I'm on board for that. But I can wait. We just kind of have to, accept that reality, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people who are. I'm sure that there are a lot of people that understand what's going on, so I don't want to just act like everyone's sort of in the sky is falling mode and just not knowing how to process this information. And the only way we can process it is to be there are a bunch of movies that we can watch on streaming platforms. There's a lot of good stuff coming out on Netflix. The Old Guard is an absolutely amazing film that would have been fun to see in theaters if that was the route they chose to go with it, but they went with Netflix. And now you can watch an amazing action film starring Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, directed by Gina Prince Bythewood, based on a graphic novel by Greg Rucka and Leandro Fernandez. So even though we don't have our requisite 3 Marvel films a year, there's still some comic book movies on Netflix and other streaming platforms that you can definitely be checking out. If you haven't checked out Extraction already, go check that out. If you haven't checked out Polar, I know some people were not a big fan of it, but I personally loved it, starring Mads Mikkelsen. That is a great film. If you haven't checked that out already, go ahead and check that out on Netflix. As far as other films, you've got stuff on Amazon that looks fantastic. You've got some great comedic dramas like Blow the Man Down, My Spy with Dave Bautista. That was one that I really enjoyed, and I think that even if you're not someone who likes, the tough guy with a little kid pairing, I still feel like you should definitely give it a chance, because I think it is an amazing vehicle for Dave Bautista's comedic talents. He's still great in, obviously, the action parts of it, and you get a good supporting role from Christine Shaw, which I did not expect, even though I recognize that she is a talented comedic actress herself. So, there's still films for us to check out. It's not the end of the world if we can't go to the theater to see some of these films. And I feel like there are still a lot of people that, even if the theaters chains were opening back up, a lot of people were still probably going to steer clear of the theaters anyway, because again, even if we're taking the precautions as far as wearing masks, social distancing, trying to, make sure that we have a lot of space in between each other, going to a theater is still a bad move right now. And I think the perfect example of this was probably that scene in Outbreak, if you remember that film, where the guy got sick and then went to a movie theater, and then you saw the germs from the germ POV of the germs traveling from his coughing mouth into the laughing open mouth of someone 10 rows down from him. So just kind of factoring that in is enough for a lot of people to say, hey, even if you open the theaters back again, I'm gonna stay my butt home because we're still in a situation where, you know, cases are still going up. ICU beds are filling up in hospitals across the country. People are dying, and it's frustrating to see that, you know, the government is doing a very poor job of addressing these issues. They still want kids to go back to school in the fall, and you have Betsy DeVos saying that, you know, there's only, you know, minor chance of kids dying, and I think it calculated out to about 14,000 kids dying. So you have your Secretary of Education who is perfectly happy with 14,000 children at minimum potentially dying from COVID-19. That's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. But as far as movies go, like, for all the people that want to say Hollywood has run out of ideas, that is bovine fecal matter, and you can navigate around me with that, because I hear it all the time. Every time there's a remake announcement or something, there's someone ready to be like, Hollywood has run out of ideas. They're creatively bankrupt. They don't want to give us anything new. No, you're just not looking for anything new. Like, please stop with your grandstanding and your, you know, posturing as if you care about original films. Because if you did, you would actually see them. You would actually seek them out. You would make the effort, if it was so important to you as a film viewer, to actually look for those films. And the fact that you don't want to do that work just means that you're kind of lame. I'm sorry. I'm here telling you that there are some good films out there for you to check out. There may even be films from years ago that you may have overlooked and didn't want to see when they first came out, but they are out there. There are plenty of original films. They're not always going to be good. In fact, if you haven't already, there's a film that came out maybe about 3 or 4 years ago called Spectral. And that came out on Netflix. It was originally supposed to be in theaters, but Netflix scooped it up, and people speculated that it probably wasn't going to be all that good, and it is absolutely amazing. If you want, you know, some big budget action sci-fi type film for you to watch this summer, in addition to some of the ones I've already mentioned, then this is a film you need to check out because it is absolutely amazing. The production design, the visual effects, the whole concept, it's kind of killer. So don't despair, don't feel like you don't have anything to look forward to, because we still have a lot left of the summer to contend with, and there's still a lot of good films that are coming out on streaming platforms. So don't feel like, you know, just because there aren't big budget action movies coming out in theaters that, you know, the landscape for Hollywood films is just kind of flat right now, because this hopefully will be temporary, and it's going to require a lot of thought and a lot of effort from a lot of different individuals, and we just kind of have to wait and see. And in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay in your house, and if you have to go out, just wear a mask. It's not that hard. Hey guys, thanks for watching. As always, if you've got your own thoughts, opinions, comments that you'd like to share, leave them in the section below. Don't forget to hit the like button, the notification bell, share this video with your friends and family, and if you'd like to keep up to date on more At Random videos, go ahead and just click the subscribe button right over here.